Yeah, man, we had a quite a time here in
Had to play the
in
time.
Orlando. Oh
Yo, yo,
man,
yo, check me out. Check me out. We live, man. I know y'all thinking like, man, these boys been gone for a minute, man. But guess what? We're back.
we're
And
back.
guess what? We have our boy. He's back in the building, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be like, hey, I hear their voices, but we can't see their faces. Well,
Here we go.
here we go.
Here we
Here we
go
go.
again.
Oh
Hey,
boy. Oh boy.
yo,
I see the Cheez It man.
you know what I mean? Again, we out here with the Cheez It Bowl victory.
Man, I get a text last night talking about Florida State won. I'm like, so who cares?
I
Whatever.
watched
You,
about I watched
you
about
said
half the game.
congratulations. I don't care.
I got some
I did not say congratulations.
I got
I
some
didn't even
rewatches to
respond.
do.
You said congratulations.
Man, let me see. I
Hey,
don't think I even responded to you.
I give y'all a hot take right now. West
Oh, I
Side,
did say congrats. My
you
bad.
gonna like this one. Hey, put Jordan Travis on your Heisman ballot 2023. Go ahead, write it up. Put him on there.
Go ahead, write it up.
Put him on there.
Hey, that's a tall task, bro. I
Listen,
don't know.
I ain't say he gonna win, but put him on
Just
there.
put them up there.
But you
Put him
said
on
put him
there.
in
And
conversation.
listen. I've been looking at what the Seminoles are doing in the portal. Put them on there. They getting that young man some help. They need Westside Norvell needs a little bit more juice in recruiting. That's my only concern about the Seminoles.
Man,
But I like what they're doing in the portal.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I need you to talk to me real quick. I need you to talk to me nice early in the morning. Because
Listen,
we was talking about this 4 months ago. Mom and pop shop. He run it like a mom and pop
no,
shop.
not Norvell, the administration, and they need to put number one. They need to put money in that stadium.
True.
I would argue
they're doing construction right now.
They're probably 2 or 3 as far as facilities in Florida. Like Miami, they got them billionaires. They just spending bread like it's water.
Right.
But y'all still in front of the Gators. I would say. Well, I don't know. No, I take it back because the Gators y'all got a football only facility.
You'd be like, okay,
We have a very nice facility.
I think we're last.
Yeah, but my only concern, and I ain't trying to start no stuff between the Gator fan and the Seminole fan. But Napier done flipped a couple dudes from Florida State.
On that note, before we get started, yo, welcome to another episode of MVP University, man. It's your boy MVP JT. I got the whole team with me today. Professor Pryor, my boy Cunny Westside is back in the building, man. Hey, listen. So I know y'all been saying like, hey, we done miss y'all for like 2 or 3 weeks. But listen, if y'all go to the YouTube channel, you will see we have been in the streets. We got interviews from the Celebration Bowl with Shador Sanders, Tariq Cohen, the defensive coordinator from North Carolina Central. And boy, listen, that game was like, wow. I don't, Dion, what happened, bro?
JT, get spill, man. Give us. You was on Radio Row. You went to the game. Just.
Give us the whole turn. Like, how was everybody acting this year? Was it more humble towards the other side, or was it just still the same? Like Jack State would come in here and win it.
To be honest with you, bro, so the situation went like this. So once we got there, got set up and everything, North Carolina Central came in, players. We didn't really get a chance to interview that many players because by the time I got to the players, it was time for them to go ahead and get ready to go to practice. So I got the coaches or whatever. But the atmosphere, man, it was really like a mixed atmosphere. You had some people like we do interview like some of the Divine Nine administrators. We interviewed who else did we interview? Divine Nine administrators and some of the Celebration Bowl committee members, and there was like it's a toss up. They couldn't just no one actually said it's going to be a Jackson State win. You see what I'm saying? No one actually said Jackson State's going to come here and win because I'm assuming that everyone who we talked to watched college football or watched the two teams, and they were like North Carolina Central has a legit shot. So I was shocked by that, you know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I did not expect them to come out and do what they did against Jackson State.
So you telling me no one was over there talking cash money?
No, like bro, bro, listen, it was a real chill environment, bro. Like it wasn't. No one was just like, oh, Jackson State's gonna go ahead and murder these boys. No, it was a real like they going with the under. A lot of people went with the underdog. A lot of people were like, it's a toss up. Both teams coming in, you know what I'm saying, doing what they do. Because if I'm not mistaken, North Carolina Central, the last 5 games held teams up under 28 points.
Mm-hmm.
And Jackson State last 3 games, they didn't look like the Jackson State at the beginning of the season, but at the same time, they was there. So it was like, who's gonna step up? Is Jackson State gonna be the Jackson State at the beginning of the season when they're putting up 66 points and 58 points, or are they gonna, you know what I'm saying, run into a defense that can actually
I don't know if you noticed, but when they came to Atlanta, they looked very slim. They looked very slim because the defensive linemen were tired. They couldn't do much. You know what I'm saying? Because you saw that defensive line keep getting pushed back. It was the same people. It was the same people. They didn't have no rotation on that D line.
Didn't Jackson State have a couple guys into the portal and not play like
They
at
hit
the
the
last
portal.
minute?
Yep, they hit the portal before the game, so it was
let
like
me be clear. I don't want to at all take anything away from what North Carolina Central did.
Absolutely not.
Because this is one of the HBCU Twitter street like dragouts that I've been reading. Because as much mess as the SWAC talk, the MEAC has owned the Celebration Bowl the last.
That is MEAC Central. What you talking about?
Because it's been A&T back to back.
Yeah,
and South Carolina State, now North Carolina Central.
But I would say this though. So Tariq Cohen in our interview, he said something that was very interesting to me. He said the SWAC and the MEAC are like night and day. The SWAC is more so fame, glam, and you know what I'm saying, all about the limelight. The MEAC is nitty gritty football. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all. That's what they got. And here he goes. He's here, guys.
What's up, Chris?
Talk about the Cheez It Man.
You know what I mean? Hey man, my dog in the background chilling, big chilling. You see him.
But yeah, man, it was a situation where it was like it made sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Because like Tariq Cohen, he played in the MEAC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, he was about Tariq Cohen, because Tariq Cohen would tell you straight up, like even when he was coming, like even when he was getting ready to prepare to get drafted, man, they were talking about the MEAC, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, this is like, you know, a gauntlet of good teams. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you see FAMU come to the SWAC and FAMU showing out in the SWAC for the first 2 years, you know what I mean? That's not you know, accidental.
Right.
FAMU was in a gauntlet for years. Same with Bethune-Cookman. Keep in mind, Bethune-Cookman has been down, and you know what I'm saying, it's not the prettiest situations right now in Daytona Beach, which we will be talking about what's going on in Daytona Beach definitely today. It wasn't the prettiest situation in Daytona Beach. So you know, you're not gonna get these. I'm just saying, you're not gonna get, you know, a lot of winning seasons. But I mean, keep in mind, Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M, both of them had to go through the gauntlet. They had to go through the gauntlet when they was in the MEAC, and the MEAC wasn't a joke.
And it seems like the SWAC tends to be more top heavy.
Oh yeah, they always
like even if you look at the prime era, you had like Jackson State, A&M with the Kill Glass that spring, and so the Arkansas. But then you also have this high variance, like Arkansas Pine Bluff. They played for the SWAC championship in that abbreviated spring season, and then come the fall, they in last place.
Mm-hmm.
And then the SWAC West, listen, the SWAC West was bad this season. It was not a good conference. It was not a good division. The two best teams in the SWAC were FAMU and Jackson State all season, and I would argue it wasn't even close. So the MEAC seems to have not one super dominant team. The MEAC is like the HBCU Big 12. They have a lot of very good teams where any given Saturday, you go to North Carolina Central, you can lose that game. You know, South Carolina State this year couldn't throw, but if you couldn't stop that run game, you were going to lose.
Right.
Howard was better this season. So, and then I think it's a little chip. They got a little chip. Then they had a couple teams leave. You know, A&T trying to carve this path up to the FBS. And they're like, well, why y'all got to leave us? And they feel a little, I can see they feel a little disrespected. So, of course, you're going to get their best game. I would love to see in the non-con, last thing about this, I would love to see in the non-con, I would love to see more SWAC MEAC regular season games instead of them just meeting in the Celebration Bowl.
Yeah, and one thing the MEAC commissioner mentioned to us, I asked her about it, I said, you know, are they looking to add more teams to the conference? She said, as of right now, no. You know what I'm saying? Like,
really?
Yeah, she was like, you know, as of right now, they're comfortable with where they're at with the teams in the conference. You know, down the line, if it's brought up again and they see the need for it, yeah. But right now, they're comfortable with where they're at.
I'm curious if some of their non-football members would consider starting football, because like Coppin State is a MEAC school, but they don't have a football program. They don't play football. Who else? I don't think Maryland Eastern Shore also competes in the MEAC in some sports.
They don't. It's a lot of teams in the MEAC that doesn't, like you said, doesn't compete in football. But then again, do they have the facility? Do they have the talent to even compete? So a lot of those teams are looking at it like, all right, realistically, are we going to go into the situation to make money, or are we going to the situation to put a good product and be competitive year in, year out? You know what I'm saying?
It's so funny you say that, because the truth is, when you talk about lower level football, for the most part, it's a money loser.
Yeah.
Like perfect example. So the only schools that get a payout from being televised, the FCS playoffs being televised, are the two teams that make the championship game. So if you don't make the championship game, you make nothing from FCS playoffs. That's why the Celebration Bowl makes more sense for HBCU schools than going to the FCS playoffs, because you got to travel. You know, you got all that good stuff. So if you lose, you don't get any money. So,
I think they need to do a whole Black College National Champion like playoff run. You know, you get your top four, and let your top four go in there and make a case for themselves. And then, you know what I'm saying, after your top four, like you'll mix match it up. You know what I'm saying? You'll have a MEAC team versus another MEAC, versus another SWAC team, or a SWAC team versus like your top four HBCU between the MEAC and SWAC, and then that's when you go ahead and make that playoff run and make more money in the sense that way. That way, people can look forward to 2 games or to 3 games instead of 1. You know what I mean? You know, you get your 2 semifinal rounds, and then you get your final rounds. Because there's too many questions left when you got when you got 2 of your top juggernauts in Florida A&M, and then you had Jackson State right above them. You know what I'm saying? You know, Florida A&M made a push at the last minute. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what Florida A&M, you know, how they are in the later years. You know, I mean, in the latter half of the year, instead of having it decided in the first, having things decided in the first, you know, game of the year, and then Jackson State gonna go win. You know what I'm saying? Because it was already decided. You know, soon as Jackson State and Florida A&M play each other in Miami, it was already decided to go. You know what I'm saying? It looks like the FCS playoffs don't want to show the SWAC no love. Go ahead and make it 14 playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Make your own playoff. Yeah. That way you're making $30 3 times the money. You're going to have the air. I mean, what's airing? You know what I'm saying? And then you can do the Superdome as one of them, and then you do probably like Texas. You know what I'm saying? Like go to one of the big markets, Texas stadiums as another one, and then we all meet up in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Or you can go Miami and you know what I'm saying, New Orleans. I mean, you got so many options here with HBCU, but no one wants to do that.
But I'm glad you said that, because like you said, the playoff in that era, well, right now, and how everything is set up, do you really think it will be worth it?
Well, actually, not to divert too much, but really, what I heard Conrad say when he talked about FAMU playing Jackson State at the beginning of the year, I think that's more of a case for the SWAC going away from divisions. It was clear that Florida A&M and Jackson State were the two best teams in the SWAC this season. Southern was not. I would argue, couple bounces of the football, I think Alabama State was every bit as good as Southern, although A&M finished 4-4, Southern finished 5-3. But because I think to me there's nothing wrong with a rematch. Kansas State TCU was every bit as good in the championship game as it was in the regular season.
It was,
yeah. So that throws that out of the window. I don't know. I think there's as my grandma would say, it's a lot of meat on that bone. There's
a lot of meat on the bone. You're right.
Yeah. Speaking of meat on the bone, man, let's go south for a second. Let's go down to Daytona Beach, Florida.
Let's talk about the crib.
So I'm gonna throw it to my boy Conrad first. Connie, what'd you think about the hire, bro? Do you think this was a splash hire or a shock hire?
It's a ploy. It's nothing neither the buzz. It's a ploy. Here's the thing. I as much as I do respect, oh my God, I absolutely love Ed Reed. I mean, Ed Reed is one of my favorite players. I mean, outside of like Ray Lewis, come on, Ed Reed. Yes, Ed Reed could do so much with this hire. He can either come in here and jazz it all up, or he can come in here and mess it all up. I call it a ploy because the thing is they needed because Prime left, so they need somebody to talk about in the SWAC. And now all of a sudden you make this hire in Ed Reed, which I'm not gonna lie, Ed Reed can bring so much to Bethune-Cookman that y'all wouldn't even think about this. He has a pipeline to Miami.
True.
He has a pipeline to New Orleans.
True.
He has a pipeline to all of Orlando and Pahokee. Why? Because he has his homeboys. Everybody gonna be like, yo, let's go ahead. Bro, what has Miami done in the past years that had anybody like, oh man, let's go Miami. Oh, yeah. Miami has not done anything. Miami has broken their hearts so many times and time again. And all of a sudden, you know what? Let's go ahead and go to another school. Let's recreate what Miami did back in the day. You know what? They're going to do that. But the reason why I say it's a ploy, because the thing is you want so bad to make this another Prime Effect.
Mm-hmm.
And Prime Effect is just different. Because you know what? Prime had people in his pocket. You know what I'm saying? He had people in his pocket, so he could get Walmart, he could get Under Armour, he could get, you know what I'm saying, like Man's Warehouse. He can get, Michael Strahan. He can get Good Morning America. He can get all these people to come and bring national attention to a school, which Jackson State, let's be honest, man, y'all were freaking spoiled, rotten, and now y'all mad because he went and got a better job. Because y'all didn't want to do nothing. Y'all didn't want to secure him. Y'all decided to let him go because y'all didn't have enough money in the bank. It's cool. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about that later. I don't think Ed Reed is going to give you this. I don't think Ed Reed's going to give you this. You know what I'm saying? Prime effect. You know, you're not going to see a new facility pop up for Bethune-Cookman. You're not going to see a new, you know what I'm saying, new practice field pop up. You're not going to see, you know, a couple buildings pop up. You're not going to see, like, you know what I'm saying, all of a sudden the crime rate goes down in Daytona Beach. You're not going to see. You're probably going to see. You're not going to see the campus get a new building or nothing. It's going to look the same. You know, they got a couple new buildings, but those buildings were put up back in like 2008. You know what I'm saying? The amphitheater that they made for Mary McLeod Bethune Theater, they put that up in 2008. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of this stuff was 2008. All these 2008 buildings.
2008, 2009, 2010. 2008, 2009, 2010.
What new buildings came up in 2010?
I know that they had some new dorm rooms got built in 2010, if I'm not mistaken.
I forgot about the new dorm rooms. So new dorm rooms in 2010, bro. But I mean, I hope something comes out of it, because here's the thing: there's a lot of stuff going on in Daytona Beach that a lot of people don't know about, and I'm talking about land wise, man.
Exactly. Speak on that, cause bro, listen, not to hit. I'm coming to you next, Professor. Not to hit on anything, but bro, we're sharing a stadium with
high school.
Now, granted, Valdosta State did it for a while. You know, when they shared their stadium with Valdosta State High. I mean, Valdosta High. But at the same time, you know, it comes, in my opinion, it comes a time and a place where each college should have their own home stadium and don't have to share it with no one. Like, because then, so like for instance, Mainland have a game on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Now they got to come back in and redo the field for a Saturday game at noon.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it to me, it's just not big enough.
Yeah, and then you can't put your home logo.
Yeah, you can't put your logo on the stadium. You can't. You know it's not like your own.
You got this big old Daytona Beach seal on there, like, yo, this is property of Daytona Beach. It's like, come on, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, it's 8 miles away from the school.
8. Well, actually, if you want to be technical with it, is 9.3.
9.3. Come on, man. And it's in the middle of nowhere, like it's not walking distance. Let's be honest. There ain't no bus stops around. You can't take the bus to the stadium. I mean, if you know anything about that part of Daytona Beach, you can't take a bus to the stadium.
Not at all. So, Professor, same question as Conrad. Do you think this hire was a splash hire or was it a shock hire?
It was a splash. I mean, Reggie Theus is the athletic director. I mean, you know, so that in itself was a splash hire. I don't know if it'll work. I do think it's a little bit of prime effect, but also I think there's a difference. Now, y'all, here's the truth about Prime. Here's the truth. He wanted to be a head coach. And Jackson State's AD went big game hunting and got Deion Sanders. As much as we wanted him to, he wasn't going to stay. I think Ed Reed, very, very similar. Let Mike Norvell keep getting cats flipped to Florida. He'll be there. Because as hard as they play for Norvell, he still needs some Jimmys and Joes. Anyway, I think in some ways the hire is somewhat similar to Eddie George at Tennessee State. One of the reasons Eddie George got that job was he was one of the donors for Tennessee State. And that athletic program needed money. Like they were hemorrhaging cash. So the hope was that Eddie George, as the football coach, will also help the program and the athletic department raise money. But and JT, you said it before we went on. Ed Reed's a football guy.
Yeah.
And a part of me feels like Bethune-Cookman, you make this move to the SWAC. You're in Florida, and maybe it's an overgeneralization to think he could get players, but I just think there's so much talent in that state that you should be able to get decent players at whatever level you coach football.
And see, that's what Conrad was talking about. Like,
Yeah.
he has so much connection, but my thing is, okay, as a high school senior, Ed Reed comes to my living room. How many high school seniors now know who Ed Reed really is?
Not a lot.
I think high school seniors in Florida know who Ed Reed is.
Yeah, Florida.
Because Ed Reed has done a very good job of staying relevant in the state. Very similar to high school seniors in that greater Nashville metro area. They know who Eddie George is. Eddie George stayed relevant in that area. Now, it's not Dion. Once again, that's why it's a football guy. But at the same time, JT, you and I talked about this as well before we started. It's going to take more than them hiring Ed Reed. Because here's the dicey part. Because he hasn't coached. So now Ed Reed has to figure out how to hire a staff. And he needs two things from the staff. Number one, he needs a staff that has coaching experience because he doesn't have it. And then he also needs a staff who understands the culture of HBCU football and the state of Florida. But he's also going to have to rely on his staff to do whose name Ed. But they're also going to have to rely. He's going to have to rely, and this is the in-game stuff. He's going to have to rely on his staff for the in-game stuff. Because he doesn't, he has the experience on the field in game, but it's different from being on the field and being on the sidelines making those decisions. That's where the uncertainty, I think, comes in. But once again, what investment is the university going to make in the football program?
My thing with that, I'm curious to see who he hires as his staff.
I want to know how much money is the university going to give him to hire a staff.
That's going to be the interesting question.
The rumor innuendo was Dion came out of his pocket to hire some of his staff. I can't stand Crispy.
Look, bro, they should bring in somebody need to bring in Jeff Saturday, bro.
So
he doing it in Indy.
Man, Jeff Saturday just been Jeff Saturday. But speaking of you saying Dion's paid a lot of his staff, so it was so much stuff going on after Dion, announced he was leaving, to where they were saying that Jackson State cheated Dion out of money. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, did Dion really pay his staff out of pocket?
JT, before you go there, there's still a question on the table, and there's still somebody we need to answer this question. And that's the whole entire money situation with the recruitment. How do you hire a staff that wants to be there and wants to coach? You gotta go talk to some guys. I think what's going to happen, and if it does, this will be the real splash hire. Ray Lewis.
I heard a rumor about Ray Lewis.
Huh?
I don't know if it's true, but I heard a rumor about Ray.
I heard a rumor about Ray too.
I think it's the same rumor. Shout
out to all script. Scotty, love you, bro. Yo, Ray Lewis coming to that building. He's helping motivate those kids, bro. You might have some damage. You might have some damage done.
If you don't hear him announced as the new head coach at Morehouse University in the next couple of weeks.
Exactly.
That's what I heard.
That's what I've been hearing.
I don't know if it's true, but you know what I would do if I was Ed Reed?
Morehouse?
Yes.
Yes, bro.
Why Morehouse, bro.
This may sound crazy. I think he'd be great at Morehouse. Because the thing at a place like Morehouse, they're D2. They were down for a long time. They've been better. But at Morehouse, ain't really a lot of pressure to win.
It's really not.
you could go teach and coach and develop. I think he'd be great. and I have no idea if it worked. But let me say one thing about Bethune. This is what I would do if I was Ed Reed. I would feel a lot of my coordinators. I would go find some of the better high school coaches in the state and see if they'd be willing to come to Bethune. Here's why. Yeah. Because unless you're gonna get some of your homeboys, unless unless you're gonna get Warren Sapp down there to come and coach, and Frank Gore. And
man,
and the only reason they want to come do it, they don't need the money. And once again, when you talk about those lower tiers of football, it's hard to fill out a staff and have stability because you're not paying. I mean, you're not paying coordinators in FCS 6 figures, let alone mid to high 5 figures.
Yeah,
so you get somebody who don't need the money, or you go look at that, like that area, Daytona Beach, in that area, and find a high school that's scoring 45 points a game, and he a high school coach, so he may be making $20,000 a year. Hey, why don't you come to Daytona Beach and we can at least double yourself? We give you 40. Come run the offense. It would be unique. I know.
It'd be very unique.
But you know what? Listen. Gus Malzahn was a high school coach before he became a college coach. Jordan McGuire, Texas Tech, he's a high school coach. Jeff Grimes, offensive coordinator. I mean, a lot of guys start off as high school coaches, but that's going to be interesting piece.
You need to go get the guy from. You need to go get 2 people, and I have in mind the head coach at Miami Central, and you need to go ahead and go holler at one of the head coach at IMG.
Nah, I would say the defensive coordinator from St. Thomas.
Defensive coordinator from St. Thomas, him too.
Yes, sir.
Holler at them. Them 3 guys. Those are the guys you want.
Yeah, because I feel like at the FCS level, the Ed Reed doesn't have to go out of the state of Florida to at very least feel like his top 30 of his roster.
No,
he should be able to find 30 guys.
He gets top 30 from the University of Miami alone. There's a lot of guys that's not going to be playing. There's a lot of guys that's overhyped. And like, hey, look, man.
It's a lot of guys in that portal.
I'm just saying, you go down to Cookman, you revamp your career in Cookman, maybe you come back up here.
I just want to know. I'm just curious. I want to know, what's the plan? Like, JT, you mentioned the stadium. Is there a long-term plan to get a stadium?
There's no long-term plan for the stadium.
No. That's my thing. I'm ready to, because I don't think they've actually formally introduced him yet, because they haven't had the press conference or so that's what I'm ready to hear. I'm ready to hear from him. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to hear from Ed Reed. What's your plan for this university?
And he gonna talk ball, but I want to know the administration, because listen, you can't afford to just spray and pray. Like I look at what Morgan State's doing now. Their Tyrone Wheatley was there 2 years, up there, and he didn't win a lot of games, but he did a lot in building that infrastructure, especially with the recruiting in that DMV area.
Yeah,
and putting systems in place as far as off-season conditions, stuff Morgan State didn't have for years. He put it there. He left, go be running backs coach at Denver Broncos. New guy whose name escaped me as soon as I said new guy comes in, and he's building on that foundation. So my thing is, but there was also an investment by the university. So I want to know, Bethune-Cookman, what y'all went and got this name that's big in the state of Florida.
There's no other investment.
What are you gonna do? Are y'all just gonna spray and pray? Or y'all gonna say, okay, this is the plan, not just for Bethune-Cookman University football, but this is what we want. This is how we want our athletic department to kind of help move the school forward.
It's gonna be.
I can answer that, bro. They're a Methodist school,
so and they're private.
They're private, and they're going to be praying the whole entire time. Second, like I told y'all before. See, me and JT, we lived in Daytona, so it's so when you live in Daytona, you know how Daytona operates. Daytona is very. We can't say the word on YouTube. Rosses. They're very Rosses in their thinking.
There's some bias.
Very, very biased in their thinking.
Good word, Professor. Good word.
So because we had the Daytona Speedway, they do not want to take no money away from that. So if they build anything else on International Speedway, which guess what college runs around International Speedway? Bethune-Cookman. So you know what I'm saying? They don't want to take away that. They do not want to take away that attention or anything. So what they're going to do is their plans are never to do anything for Bethune-Cookman at all whatsoever. They said, look, we got the stadium, be happy that you got the stadium. Unless Bethune-Cookman start generating money for that city, and keep in mind, they just built a whole entire shopping plaza on LPGA, which is about, I want to say 2 minutes away from the stadium.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not taking away anything from that area. They said no, that area is too lucrative because you can get done with you either can go shopping real quick to the LPGA and then go straight to the municipal, or you can come straight from municipal and go to the shopping plaza where they got nothing but food places open late night. See, there's too much money. There's too much money in that area for Bethune-Cookman to even try to make a push. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To make a push for, let's put a stadium here. Let's put something administratively here for the kids. They don't care.
So I got a question. So Bethune-Cookman is private, correct?
Yes, sir.
So if it's private, that means that land that they are on, it's not land grant. The government did not give them that land; they bought it. So point. So is the
Daytona is so tied? Listen.
No, my question is the university landlocked?
It's not landlocked.
So that means
that's a good question. I don't know.
So because here's the thing: if it's not landlocked, the university can build a stadium on its property.
But that's the thing. Like the campus is, I don't know what all is the campus.
It's literally.
You know, it ain't no just no.
Listen, I went to a small school.
I wish you could look up a picture of the campus. Oh my god!
I went to a small school where literally everything was a 2-minute walk from your dorm room. So I get it. But my thing is, if they're not landlocked, they can build a stadium. But that I guess that's my whole point. And I guess the larger point for me is hiring a coach. It takes more than just hiring a coach to turn around a program.
Yeah.
And when you talk about a program like Bethune-Cookman that they haven't won in a while, they have a 7,000 seat stadium that they play in that they don't fill. The on-field stuff can take care of itself, but it's not sustainable unless the university has a plan to try to increase that sustainability. And that doesn't matter what level you are.
And speaking of a plan, you know what I'm saying, and Conrad brought it up too, the eligibility, like the money, you know what I'm saying. And speaking of money, something Professor and I was talking about earlier, the transfer portal, because rumor has it, you know, Mr. May in North Carolina was getting tens of millions of dollars sent to him while he was still, you know what I'm saying, getting ready for a bowl game.
And listen, go out of your way to find the comments by Mac Brown. And here's why. Because he turned it into a recruiting pitch. Mm-hmm. It was and shout out to Andy Staples and the Andy Staples show. I was thinking it. I listened to the podcast. He said it first, so I'm going to give him credit. It was masterful. Basically, he said, listen, y'all, Drake May got all these millions of dollars to leave, but he stayed with us because he believes in this play. He believes in North Carolina. He believes in the school. He believes in the football because he's like, he just basically said, listen, y'all, come to North Carolina. This is a place you can believe in. More than money here in North Carolina. I loved it. He just turned it to a whole recruiting pitch. But this is my issue. he's not the only one. He's brought it up. Jake Dicker, head coach Washington State, brought it up. Jimbo down there at Texas A&M brought it up too. Here's my thing about tampering. Did y'all read about when Brian Kelly went to LSU? Anybody read or watch anything about that at all?
Not really.
Because if you did, you would have read or heard that initially he turned the job down. So how can you turn a job down if you're under contract at another school unless somebody offered you a job?
Right.
How's that? That's tampering. Luke Fickell, if you read anything or heard anything about him going to Wisconsin from Cincinnati, he initially turned down Wisconsin. Mel Tucker initially turned down Michigan State. Well, here's the thing. Right. So Drake May turned down whoever offered him to leave. So if Mel Tucker and Mac Brown said, well, they did it through the agents. It's through the agents. So that means agents are talking to schools about coaching.
Yeah.
If it's tampering for players, it's tampering for coaches. My thing is keep the same energy. That's all I want y'all to do.
Keep that same energy.
If Jimbo is the author of tampering.
Oh,
that's how he got out of Florida State.
Big time.
He got out of Florida State by having his agent talk to LSU that leveraged him into that contract he got at Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
So listen, that's all I'm saying. Keep the same energy. The only difference is the university are paying coaches and not players.
So here's my next question, and we're going to stay on the transfer portal. How do you guys view it now? You know what I'm saying? A lot of players are testing the waters and coming back out saying they're gonna stay at the school. A lot of players are testing the waters and not getting no answers at all. What's your thoughts on that? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think it should be a rule in place that once you're in, you're in?
I think the only thing they should maybe think about considering doing, so a coach has the right to basically tell you, Conrad, you put your name in this portal, no matter what happens, we're not going to renew your scholarship. We because we need the space. So
they tell them that.
So some do, some don't. Like James Franklin basically came out and said, if you put your name in the portal, we're taking your scholarship. So if don't nobody want you, then you can walk on with us and maybe get a scholarship next season. And then others say, well, you know what? You put your name in the portal and, we'll give you 30, 60, 90 days, whatever. But my thing, first of all, a lot of stuff ain't new. Not many people know this. It's like the one-time transfer rule. Every non-revenue sport has a one-time transfer rule. Football was the last sport to do it. Like if you ran track for Clemson, you could transfer one time without penalty. But here's the thing, and I actually did not have a problem with the old transfer rules. The issue was the coaches. Jeremiah, oh, you want to transfer from Florida? Listen, here go 42 schools you can't go to.
Yeah,
right.
Like my thing, if coaches didn't have the authority to block, if coaches couldn't block,
you know what?
The old transfer rules would have been fine. In addition, I felt like the old transfer rules kind of encouraged football players to get degrees and graduate early. Because if you graduate, you can transfer as many times as you want without penalty. You're a graduate transfer.
Right.
And the NCAA and universities, they want you to get the bachelor's degree. They don't really care if you get a master's degree. You just got to be enrolled somewhere. And so my thing is, it's a risk, but keep something else in mind too. And I don't want to dominate the conversation about the portal. I've just been kind of working on the portal for the last month, but keep something else in mind too. All these names in the portal, a majority of those guys are like last scholarship guys and walk-ons. A lot of those guys in the portal are guys that you don't know. They're the fourth string offensive tackle at Boston College, or the walk-on running back at at Ohio State, and they're just probably trying to find some place that they can walk on again, and maybe get preferred walk on status and hopefully get a scholarship. Well, I think a lot of those guys. I mean, if you're a walk on in a portal, you ain't got a scholarship no way, so you don't really have anything to lose. And they're gonna either go down some levels or maybe you just walk back on where they are.
So the portal is actually a dangerous game. It's a dangerous game, and it's a perfect game. Actually, I think it's necessary. I think it's great. I think they shouldn't change the rules about it. I think it should stay the way it is, because what it's going to do is give a lot of these kids a reality check. Just like you said, you leave my school, pull your scholarship away. Hey, you go to this school, you go test the waters out. Well, I promise you, this is the best deal you're gonna get. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these guys like to bank on themselves. Like I understand if you had 2 terrific seasons. You know what I mean? Terrific seasons. I'm talking about like, oh, you're a DB and you got 2 interceptions and 48 tackles. You know what I'm saying? That's that's cool. That's cool. I'm talking about if you a DB at the school that you at and you got 6 interceptions, 100 and some tackles, plus 3 of them let's say 3 of them tackles are sacks. Then that's when you go ahead and say, hey, let me put the check out on me. That's when you bet the bag on yourself. Do not go out here thinking that you are hot stuff, bro. If you didn't get no significant playing time and you have no film out there on you, don't go out there trying to find another school. I'm sorry. Don't try to live off the merit that you have because, oh, I was a 4-star coming out of high school. Cool. So what? I got a 5-star sitting on the bench right now, waiting for an opportunity. What do I need you for? What do you bring to my campus? My program? What can you do for me? Literally.
What can you do on the college level?
College level. Thank you. When we went out there and got Jared Verse, we knew about Jared Verse. Why? Because Jared Verse was running people down at the defensive line. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Man, Malik Willis was a whole political mess down there at Auburn, bro.
It was.
Yeah, he got forced out because they wanted Bo Nix.
They wanted Bo Nix so bad.
Yeah, that was a mess.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta understand, man. We gotta look at the transfer portal as it is. It's a blessing in disguise. It's showing these kids like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You might not be as good as you think you are. You know what I mean? Because what it is, it trims the fat very well. Because a lot of these guys, they be 5-stars coming out of high school, but you a 5-star. But you go to a small, a Catholic high school. You know what I mean? You go to this one of these private schools. You know,
a private 1A school.
Private 1A schools. I'm sorry. 2S in the state of Florida. 2S now. You go to a 2S school or a 3S school. I'm sorry, son. You got 5 stars because of your size. Let's see what you can actually do. I mean, you got a lot of these guys getting exposed at the top level. But you know what? I think it's perfect. I don't think it needs to change. I think it's doing a great benefit to the players and to the coaches. Because the coaches can go in there and say, you know what? You're not using that guy. And I wanted that guy from Jump Street because I knew I could use him.
My thing is with the portal, bro, and this is just my thought on it.
Right.
Okay, a lot of these guys are everybody say this, the commentators say that they are afraid of competition. If I'm a 4-star recruit, I come in as a freshman, I want to play. And they don't want to compete to play against, you know what I'm saying, other 4 or 5-star players. That's one. That's where they enter the portal, go to a team where they can know they can start right away. Number 2, the portal hurts a lot of players. Reason I say it hurts a lot of players because one, like you said, they don't have film on the college level. They have film from high school. So now you have to say, okay, well, this is what I did in high school against a I'm a 6'3" receiver running a 4.45, but the DB who I faced week in week out was number like 5'7". You know what I'm saying, and wasn't that athletic. They just played football just for fun. You know what I'm saying. So how are you going to? What can you do differently? What can you show the coach that hey, Conrad is a five-star recruit that's playing the same position as
I'm
me.
liking that. I'm getting all these examples, but
You know,
yeah,
he's a 5-star recruit at the same position, but Professor Pryor comes in and you guys recruiting him. He's a 4-star. I'm a 4-star too. So you know what I'm saying. It now makes it difficult for the coach to say, okay, well, we're going to accept you and not give the high school players a chance. You know what I'm saying? And my third thing is it hurts high school players a lot.
I don't think it hurts. Like
you got to think about it, Conrad. So many schools are only allowed so many scholarships. So if Travis Hunter, for example,
understand they eliminating people at the same time.
How, bro?
That's why I say it's so good because they're eliminating the people that they because a lot of the guys that you see on these teams were from old regimes. They're like, yo, man, we losing. A lot of them guys come from old regimes. A lot of these guys a lot of the guys that are playing for Norvell now got recruited by whom? You got recruited by
Taggart,
or the tail end of Jimbo.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, what we know true, those guys are soft. So eliminate those guys.
But think about this, Conrad.
Guys in.
So I hate we talk about Prime like this all the time. Like he's the spotlight of all college football talk. But look at who he got transferred from Jackson State, from these other colleges to Colorado. A lot of these kids ain't finna get no scholarships, bro.
Scholarships?
Bro, let's keep it a buck, bro. Colorado do not have that many scholarships, bro, to give out.
That's not necessarily true.
Colorado needs Colorado got money.
Because number one, a lot of the first of all, so I gotta side with West Side on this, just because to me the portal gives kids an opportunity to advocate for themselves. Quite frankly, in some instances, before they get ran off. And every time I think about this, I think about Will Greer when McElwain was the head coach of Florida.
Yep,
right. And ran him off.
Ran
him off because he popped a test because there was a non-anabolic steroid in his asthma medication. But McElwain didn't want him, and that just gave him an excuse to run him off to West Virginia. I mean, that happens all the time. I think the portal is good. Like for guys like Jamison Williams. Jamison Williams was not going to play at Ohio State. It just kind of happens that they had the best receiver room in the country. But I also think about, and what's that? Y'all getting another one from Western Michigan, 6'3", 300-pound interior lineman who basically pulled the Jared Verse. He was like 230 going up to Western Michigan and grew into this man.
Right.
And now he's going down to Florida State. I know how that may sound bad, but I like the small school kids being able to come in. Jacob Cowan balled out for Arizona this year. Isaiah Neya got hurt before he could play at Texas, but he'll be back next season. I like that. I do like, Dante Cephas is going to ball out at Penn State next year, coming from Kent State. It gets dangerous when you're not high on the depth chart. But I think my thing is, for high school kids, it don't hurt the 5 stars, and it don't hurt the high end 4 stars. It only hurts the kids in the middle. And really, the portal, the same thing.
Yeah,
it kind of hurts the kids in the middle.
And that's my thing, man. Like, it's a lot of kids that I know personally that are not going to actually get a chance to go and have an opportunity to show their worth because now they got to be a walk on.
Yeah.
And,
my thing is, if I'm the 3rd string guard for Auburn, I can't stand Crispy. But I may be the 3rd string guard at Auburn. I mean, listen, I might have to go down a level. I might have to go to Alabama State. but there may be a scholarship for me at Alabama State as well.
Hey, I just got an idea. Let's go ahead and let's create a prospect. What's Crispy's last name? Go ahead and put Crispy back up. What's his last name? All right, Crispy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create you as a prospect, and we're gonna go ahead and recruit you out because you want to be part of the show so bad. So we're gonna talk about this pretend quarterback coming out of Memphis, Tennessee, Crispy. No, Nashville. I'm sorry. I don't want to disrespect Crispy. I'm sorry. And Crispy, you are going to be a 1-star. Each week you got to give us a reason why we should make you a 5-star. So and if we can get you by a 5-star status by let's say we get you to a 5-star status by the summer.
It's got to be. He can't. I want to say August 1 because it's 3 portal windows. It's now and then after spring, and I want to say August 1 is summer. Because they're trying to keep kids out of the portal during the season, which I completely agree with.
Mm-hmm.
So, but and that's the one thing I do like. They just said let's keep kids out of the portal during the season, so you can transfer like before early signing. Then it closes until I think March, and then it goes from March until I want to say July 31, because I think they go by like the earliest enrollment for schools, and some schools do enroll as early as August 1 formally. So I do like that.
So I'm gonna say one name. This gonna transition us to our next topic. A kid that is a prime example of going to a big school, taking a step back, and coming back to another big school is Stantavius Bennett.
I don't talk about that guy.
Bro, he was a walk on at Georgia, bro.
Yeah.
He left Georgia. The mailman, Stantavius. You know, he got the fade now. like he left Georgia, went to a JUCO, and came back. And now he's on the verge of doing something that, if I'm not mistaken, no Georgia quarterback has ever done.
No.
Win 2 natties.
Georgia doesn't have like this deep, rich football history that people think. They are the Texas of the Southeastern Conference. They got that one. They got that one. They got that one. They got that. Listen,
no, they're not.
They are.
I'm not even going to.
Okay, well then don't listen, but quit talking. They got the one national championship with Herschel. There's the only claimed national championship with Herschel, and there was like 40 years of mid, and then they got Mark Richt.
You said 40 years of mid?
Yeah, 40 years of mid. and then they got Mark Richt from Florida State, and they got the least scrutinized bust in quarterback history of Matthew Stafford, because Matthew Stafford was supposed to save Georgia football and he didn't. He was supposed to save the Lions and he didn't. He got old and went to a team that had one of the best defenses of all time. And
wait, whoa.
No one has ever scrutinized Matthew Stafford for never living up to the expectations he was supposed to have.
He went to the Lions. He went to the Lions.
What does that mean?
That's a lot.
Peyton Manning went to the Colts. Do you know how bad the Colts were before he was on that team?
But the Colts organization is ran. No, sir. No.
Indiana. The Colts were one of the worst run organizations.
Football.
They're still the worst ran organization. What are you talking about?
Exactly. They were awfully run. Peyton Manning did what he was supposed to do for that organization. Matthew Stafford was supposed to do the same thing,
Don't
and he
leave
didn't.
Hey,
You cannot blame it on him going to the Lions.
Okay. So
wait a
hear me
minute.
out.
Let's go back to Georgia. When he came out of Westlake, he's gonna be the one to deliver to Georgia with their, and he didn't. He did not. Peyton Manning did for Tennessee. The only thing Peyton Manning didn't do for Tennessee was win a natty. But he was the Pied Piper. He got all those players to come to Tennessee with him. And then the next year with T. Martin, they won a natty. Matthew Stafford was supposed to be the savior of Georgia football. He was not the savior of Georgia football.
Okay, so are we really going to put that on Stafford?
Let's talk. Anyway, I will talk about Matthew Stafford.
Because we've been talking about college football, but before we do that, you gonna put that on Matthew Stafford, bro? Yeah. It's coaching.
I agree with him, man. He got me thinking now, man.
Yes,
it's the coach. Mark Richt did not know how to coach them boys, right or wrong. In your backfield,
there's no way. As bad as the SEC East was,
Mark Richt knew how to.
Mark Richt gave the SEC East was cheeks.
It was weak. It was a very weak game. Weak conference.
And Georgia consistently had the most talented teams in that division, and he let Spurrier get him with South Carolina. I want to hear it.
Okay.
He lost to Spurrier with the Gamecocks, bro. Come on, that's inexcusable.
You know what? So there could be a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day because we're gonna debate this one. We just need a pure hot take trash talk this episode.
We gotta have
you know what? We may just do that. Hey, for those who are watching this right now, check me out. We got a bit surprise coming up at the end of this show. Stay tuned. We got a big announcement. Just stay tuned for us. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and change topics real quick. We're gonna go to the Final Four. You all know what time it is. It's the college football playoff, which starts games tomorrow at 4:00.
Mm-hmm.
First game, Michigan, TCU. Second game, Georgia, Ohio State. So what we're going to do right now, we're not going to spend much time on it. We're going to do a quick pick 'em and kind of sort of let me know what you think the outcome is going to be, and then ultimately who we got as the national title. The national title game. So we're going to start with Conrad. Tell me your 2 wins and what's some of the keys you're looking for in this game.
All right, so the 2 wins I'm going to go with. Is going to be TCU and Ohio State. Ohio State comes in and they show why they, have this chip on their shoulder. They're like, yo, we are the Big Ten school. We do have the speed. We do have the caliber of player to win. We've been here before, and when we was here, we won it. So don't think that we're just this cheap team. Also, TCU comes in. They're playing a Michigan team where Michigan. Let's be honest. Michigan is like 35th in 17th in recruiting right now, and they don't got really top players coming in. But that doesn't matter. TCU still has all their players on the team. TCU is also like coming in with a chip on their shoulder, and they want to prove to the committee that look. The reason why we're here is because why we're here, and they want to make Big 12 be relevant again. And honestly, I got TCU winning it all.
Wow!
Scorching hot take,
Professor.
Man, you just stole my thunder. All right, so let's go to the first game.
Wait, Connie, who you got for the second game?
What you mean?
TCU.
I got TCU winning it all.
I mean, first time since the Sammy Baugh era. The Horn
Professor talk to us nice.
So first game we got Michigan and TCU. This is why I like Michigan, because if you look at TCU's 2 most difficult games, they were both against Kansas State, and they would have lost that first game if Kansas State were not playing its third string quarterback. TCU struggled against Kansas State because Kansas State was really whipping them up front on both sides of the trenches. I think Michigan is going to be able to get what they want running the football. TCU's not great against the run. I'm not going to count out TCU by any stretch of the imagination. These young men don't care about playing from behind. They don't care about, being down late in games. but I think Michigan's ability to run the football, but also their ability to neutralize TCU running the football, because they got a pretty good running back in Kendre Miller themselves. But I think their ability to stop TCU's run, and they're going to be able to cover Quentin Johnston as well. I think that's going to give Michigan the edge in the first game. Conrad, shoot. I was going back and forth on this one. I also like Ohio State. And I like Ohio State because I really feel like they know that they got a second chance at life by sneaking into this playoff. But also, I think they match up well with Georgia. Georgia plays a lot of man too. Ohio State's wide receivers thrive on man coverage. The SEC East was not good this year. They were not good. There's no comparison between Tennessee and Ohio State. Ohio State has the best wide receivers in college football. This is the best offensive line that Georgia has faced all year. And I would argue this may be one of the better defensive lines Georgia's had to block all year. But I think it's going to come down to offense. Now, let me say this. This is going to be one of the best games we've seen all bowl season. And this game got a little stink on it. I haven't been able to smell it right because part of me also feel like Georgia about to Ohio State too. Like part of me is like, it wouldn't shock me if Ohio State lost 70-14. It wouldn't shock me in the least.
Ooh.
It wouldn't. It would not at all. Because Ohio every time I watch
70-14.
Yes, it wouldn't shock me. But let me explain why though. Because every time I watch Ohio State play, I'm like, man, they look good, but they should be so much better. Like, every time I watch CJ Stroud play, I'm like, how come he's not as good as Bryce Young? Because he's not. But I feel like he should be. There's like this level that Ohio State just hasn't hit. And I don't know if that makes any sense.
It does make perfect sense.
But I feel like if any team can go through that boa constrictor and make 60, 70-yard drives and score touchdowns, and that's the thing. If Ohio State's going to win this game, they got to score touchdowns. They got to stay in front of the chains. Georgia's not a high-pressure rate defense, but they pick their spots when they blitz. CJ's going to have to beat the blitz. If he doesn't, they're not going to win. But here's the one thing about Georgia. Because I don't think Georgia is dynamic in the run game, but I think Brock Bowers, Ladd McConkey, Darnell Washington, really, I think Georgia's strength is Ohio State's weakness. I don't think Ohio State is very good on the back end of their defense. And if they can't get to Stetson, Stetson's going to complete passes.
He is.
That said,
you're saying the defensive backfield?
Yeah, Ohio State's not very good on the back end. They're not. And although Georgia is good on the back end, I think the matchup, I think Ohio State's DB, I'm trying to figure out how I want to pick this game. That's why I'm doing all this talk. Ohio State by a field goal. Forget it. I said I was going to be bold, and I said I was going to pick the upset. Smidge of chaos.
Smidge of chaos is going to be. So this is how I'm gonna roll with it. First game, Michigan TCU. I'm picking Michigan by 2 touchdowns. Oh, and here's why I say that. I think Michigan just right now. Michigan is on another level.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? They have elevated that game from last year to this year, and they want that rematch against Georgia. They want it. So I think Michigan run game is going to Mr. Edwards because Blake is not playing, so it's Mr. Edwards. It's your time. Your time to show that you're the lead back. So now show us. I think they're going to be a run heavy game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say 32-14. I think the atmosphere may be too much for TCU. Me personally. I'm not going. If they score more than 14, I won't be shocked because I know the offense that TCU have, but I think Michigan's defense is that much better.
Yeah. Do you feel like TCU and Michigan are somewhat similar, but Michigan just does things better.
Absolutely. Yeah. But here's my thing. I think TCU can pass it better than Michigan can, but Michigan can ultimately run it better.
Yeah. And I think Michigan's run game, they're going to force a safety down out of that box.
Yeah.
But I think watch my man 18, Mr. Schoonmaker for Michigan. He's going to have a time because he's too big for a safety to cover and too fast for a linebacker. He's going to be him and Ronnie Bell going to be the X factors for Michigan because they're going. I think JJ going to chop up that man coverage.
Yeah, he will. Mm-hmm. And then the second game, it's man. I've been going back and forth with this game like for weeks. Once we find out what it's going to be, I've been going back and forth. Here's why.
I'm sorry to cut y'all off, but am I the only one that kind of feel like Ohio State's really going to take this disrespect seriously?
Yeah.
Because I feel like everybody's writing them off.
Everybody's writing them off.
And I feel like Ohio State's like, okay, don't talk about us then.
So here's my thing. Georgia, I know Georgia played Tennessee. Cool. But Georgia has not faced a offense with the weapons that Ohio State has all season long. My thing is, how would that say? I'm not worried about Georgia's front seven. Jalen Carter's gonna have a field day. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna do what he got to do. He's gonna hold his own. Mr. Ringo on the outside against Marvin Harrison Jr.
That boy is a beast.
That boy is a monster, and he said it when he did not win the best receiver award, and they gave it to Hyatt. They said y'all woke up a beast. He said he woke up a beast.
That
bro.
Oh.
I don't think Ringo has what it takes to stick with him.
No.
But I think Georgia's front seven is going to blitz CJ a lot, and CJ is going to get rattled.
But Kirby don't blitz a lot though.
They're going to have to, because if you give CJ time in that pocket, CJ's going to eat that defense alive.
Okay.
So with that being said, I'm not picking no team. I can't.
Yes, you can.
It's hard because then at the same time, you can't bet against Georgia right now, man. Georgia somehow, somebody's gonna pull it out. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but they're gonna find a way to win this game. Yeah. So hey,
you know what? Can I give a quick shout out real quick? I got to do this. I got to do this. Although I'm the biggest, you know what I'm saying, Florida State alma mater, Florida State. Everything, I gotta give a shout out to my Huskies in Washington for beating Texas.
Big Penix energy, baby.
That was a good game.
Love you, Penix, man. And he's coming back. So you know what I'm saying. So my two teams in the national championship next year gonna be Washington and Florida State.
Go to sleep. Anyway, as a matter of fact, I can mute you for that one. but here's my thing. My heart is telling me Georgia. My mind is telling me Ohio State.
Okay, I'm gonna toss this one in for you too. It seems like the last time Ohio State won that Natty, with nobody talking about them that year either. Because if you remember, Braxton Miller got hurt.
Yep.
JT Berry got hurt.
Cordell Jones led him to this.
I was going to say this unknown third stringer by the name of Cardale Jones just gave it to Ezekiel Elliott 50 times a game and threw it to Michael Thomas the other 20, and they won the national championship.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't know. Okay, but
I'm telling you, that's why I said this. It's got a stink on it, but I don't know which way to smell it.
So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do my pick. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's right or wrong, I'm going Michigan, Ohio State Part 2.
Yes, let's break Al Gore's internet, Big Ten country.
I'm going Michigan, Ohio State Part 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Michigan, Ohio. I don't know.
So here's the thing. I love TCU.
Y'all remember Michigan?
No. I'm gonna tell you why I'm picking Michigan. One issue that I have with TCU's offense when they throw the ball is Quentin Johnson a bust.
Yeah.
And go back to the Ohio State Michigan game. Now I don't. On a down-to-down basis, offensively, I don't think Michigan was very efficient. They gained over 350 yards on like 12 plays. But Michigan covered Ohio State's receivers very well. And physically, Quentin Johnson is better than any Ohio State receiver. Physically, he's not a better receiver because Marvin Harrison Jr. is a bigger, faster version of his daddy. Like,
and that's scary.
Listen,
that's scary.
That young man's a technician, but then he can outrun you too. He's not a burner, but he's such a clean route runner. But he's big and strong, so you don't
good
want
hands.
to press him.
With good hands,
fantastic hands. He's like a bigger, strong. He's Chris Carter. He's a bigger, stronger version of his daddy. Because if you've watched him catch, the man's hands look like skillets. Man, and then so if you roll coverage to him, people forget, man. Julian Fleming was the number one receiver in the country when he came out of high school.
Yeah,
he's finally coming into his own. Listen, hey, Jackson Smith and Jigba gonna pull a Bobby Boucher and come at halftime. Like, remember Jackson Smith and Jigba came back and we won. He gonna come back out of nowhere just playing the game, and that's the thing. They're this good without him.
But now imagine if Jackson would have been playing.
Because now you got a guy who can take a top off the defense.
But they still got that other receiver though.
Emeka.
Yeah.
He can take the top off.
He can take the top off.
And they got two good tight. But my thing, they gotta block Georgia. If they don't block, if Georgia is getting a CJ with 4, it's a wrap.
So I'm gonna say this.
Mm-hmm.
If Ohio State can establish the run, Ohio State wins the game. If Georgia makes Ohio State one-dimensional, Georgia wins the game.
Define establish the run.
At least overall have 100 yards total, over 100 yards total rushing ball.
So let me tell you why I asked it, because I think, especially if you can catch Georgia over pursuing, you got a screen game there,
mm-hmm.
and a swing that you can extend the run game in that way. And Mayan Williams can catch, because I don't think Travion's playing in this game either.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing.
So I think I don't know, man. I feel like everybody's like Georgia, and Georgia's really good, and I expect both of these games to be fantastic.
They're expecting Georgia to do Alabama,
but I think the difference is the team that Georgia's playing is a lot better than what Alabama played when they were that dominant.
Yeah,
because those years of dominance, going back from the Derrick Henry era forward, they were clearly better than every other team in the playoff.
I mean, because they NIL wasn't in effect.
So, we got to talk about that in another episode.
No, that was
right.
So I'm going Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia, in the national title game.
And in a stunning turn of events, they moved the national championship game to Soldier Field because it's going to be Ohio State and Michigan. I'm just joking; they're not going to do that.
What?
Hey, come here, like what? Hey, can you imagine if that was Ohio State, Michigan?
Oh
man, like that's gonna be.
You know what? The football narrative might happen, bro.
But the crazy thing, we've seen it happen in the SEC twice.
Yeah,
and like it's this crazy thing if it happens in the Big Ten.
If it happens, man, the Big Ten gonna be on.
Telling you, breaking Al Gore's.
You know what? The Big Ten gonna talk. Oh, they gonna show their booty.
What?
Show their booty.
Man, the Big Ten gonna talk mad.
And they're gonna this mug like we got the national championship game and we got the biggest TV deal. Now what?
Talk to me nice.
Talk to me nice.
Real.
Hey, speaking of talking to me nice, yo. So everyone who's watching this show right now, check me out. In January, we have our YouTube channels coming. The MVPU YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Every Thursday. Don't have a time just yet. It's in the works. We work some kinks out, but you guys are going to get us a lot earlier every Thursday, so that way you guys can digest us.
Right.
Eat us with your when you eat dinner, you're gonna watch us like you watch Sports Center.
Right.
Also, Professor Pryor has his book out. You know what I'm saying? 2 books, and the articles he's writing up, guys. Y'all have got to go check them out.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
So listen. Crazy thing. I write children's books.
Look at that. You getting college football and children books, man. All dads, mom.
Listen, if you are an expecting parent with an older sibling, Mommy's Having a Baby is the book for you. If you value bedtime as much as I have in these years as being a father of 3, Snug as a Bug in a Rug is the perfect book for bedtime. Get them both. Amazon.com.
Ebook and book. I don't even have kids. I can't wait to have kids now.
Also, Professor, tell them where they can read your articles at, bro.
So you can find me on MVPN. That's our website. That's the blog site. I just finished a piece about Ed Reed going to Bethune-Cookman. I will be finishing 10 key transfer portal signees. Michigan, mediocre recruiting class. When the portal, they just restacked their offensive line. I also just finished postseason power rankings for the ACC and the Big 12 on SaturdayBlitz.com. So check those out. A retrospective on your favorite ACC and Big 12 teams.
Check us out. Yo, Connie, you all right over there, bro? The semester's over with, man. You should be lit right now.
Listen here, man. Let me tell you.
Before you do that, y'all check us out. Like, share, subscribe to MTMV Sports, MVPU. Also, we follow us on Twitter, man. We really trying to get our Twitter feed up and going. We're gonna work on that better in 2023 as well, man. 2023 is a big year for us. MVPU is going to take off in a major way, so we want y'all on board with us, man. You know, and Professor give out good grades. Like, if you come to class, you might get a C. If you turn in one assignment, you might get a C+. I don't think.
I think Professor's much harder. He's a harsher, bro. You know, he gave me an F the other week.
I didn't give you anything.
I gave you what you earned. I'm like, first off,
how you a senior in college and don't know APA formatting? Like, I said you had to work. You needed a works cited page. It had to be APA. I don't know what it is you turned in. Was that Chicago style? I don't know what that was.
I turned in wide. No, sir. I was about to say wide rule. College style.
Yo, Conrad, thank you guys for being with me. Professor, thank you guys for being with me, man. You know, we started this show in the beginning of college football season. We've been rocking it out 17 episodes in, man. So we're finna get bigger and better, man. So thank y'all for trusting in me. You know what I'm saying? And we just finna take over, bro. So yeah, anything else y'all got to say before we close out?
So what I wanted to say is, man, I think what's going to have to happen coming in next year. We're gonna have to get us a soundboard, because we gotta make it interactional, and then 2, we really gotta go out there and get some like interviews with like players and stuff. So I'm going to be hitting the trails. I know
right now. He said he
will hit the trails. Benson, I'm trying to talk to Norvell now. See if Norvell come on the show, man. Like, there's some people that I want to be a part of this. The big thing that we need to work, we need to start talking about, because that one company, overtime, they have competitions and stuff. Mm-hmm. They have kids playing in their own all-star games. You know.
Yeah. Wait. We gonna tell you all of our secrets, yo. Just stay tuned.
Are we still live? Oh shoot!
Just stay tuned.
Yeah, Conrad, you got hot mic, buddy.
You got hot mic.
Hey guys.
Just stay tuned. It's your boy MVP signing out, man. Professor Connie Westside. Happy New Year's. Peace, love, blessings, and prosperity to everyone who's watching in 2023.
Well, dang, next time turn the mic off, man, and turn the video off. Got us on live.